Alright, now that we've done with our first batch of apples, which were very delicious, we're going to start on our second project. And with this, we're going to be doing kale chips. Now, I bought this big box of baby kale. That'll be just the right size for making these chips. Now, if you'll, they're very wet inside the container, so we're going to put them in a little bit of paper towels and try to absorb some of the moisture off of the leaves. And then we're going to put them in this pot right here. And put a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt. Then we're going to run them through the dehydrator. Now, I expect we're going to use the taller setting for the trays because these are going to stand up a little bit. I'm going to also put them in a little thicker than the apples. I really didn't want to overlap the apples, but I don't have a problem overlapping these, and I'm sure I can stir them around a little bit so they won't have the problem with overlapping and not dehydrating evenly. So we're going to prep these right now, and then we're going to put them in the dehydrator. So first, a little bit of moisture removal here. I'm going to pick through and pick out some of these that look a little less savory real quick. All right, now drop these in here in the pot. So we've got our sort of dried kale here in the little bowl here. Now, I don't want to douse these with olive oil. I just want to give a little bit of olive oil, just enough to give them a coating so they'll hold the salt. So once we're done with that, we'll go ahead and get these in the dehydrator. So just a little bit. Mix it in all. A little tiny bit. Try to get a good coating on it. And, you know, a decent amount of salt. And we'll hand mix it again. One more salt bath here. Okay. And there we have it. Our kale chips are prepared for dehydrating, and we will be adding them to the device here in just a moment. All right, now let's load up the dehydrator with the kale chips, and we'll get ready to run this batch. So a couple of things I'm going to do on this. I'm going to use the taller setting for the trays, the difference in the trays, and I'm going to populate the trays a little more densely with the kale. So let's go ahead and put it down our parchment paper. And here we have the kale. So we have to remember to keep the center hole from being covered. All right, like that. And I went ahead and flip this 90 degrees. Okay, that's good, nice, good. Need the other. So with the flipping and the raising of the tray, that absolutely makes out a better, definitely better for this sort of more voluminous material. So I think I have plenty of room on these trays for the kale chips, so let's put that in there. 90 degrees. Okay. All right, there we have it loaded up. We're going to go ahead and fire up the dehydrator, and we're going to let it run for a couple hours. Then we'll probably do a quick tray rotation and see how the consistency looks with that. And check it every hour or so after that and see how it goes. But hopefully by in about 4 hours, we'll have kale chips to try. Whoops. All right, we'll see you back in just a minute and try it out.
2 hours later.
All right, so the kale chips have been dehydrating for 2 hours now. We're gonna do a quick swapping of the trays around, maybe stir things up a little bit, and we're gonna look at them for another hour and see if they're ready to go at that point. But let's go ahead and do our rotation here. Moving around a little bit also helps make sure they're not going to stick. Alright, so the trays are all rotated. We're going to put this back on for another hour. Let's see where we get. We'll see you back then. Alright, so the kale chips have finished dehydrating. It's been about a 3-hour process. We're going to have some experts try them out. I'm not an expert, so I cannot taste test them, but we're going to let Dolly have a try at it. Dolly, what do you think?
Pretty good.
Pretty good? You like them?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Victoria, what's your assessment?
Loving the amount of salt. That's a nice kick. I'm wondering, because you used baby kale, I'm wondering if you used the regular kale, massaged it ahead of time, stripped it off the ribs or the spines or whatever. I wonder what that would be like, because that's got a heartier, like, weight or density, so it might actually wind up being more chip-like. This is kind of more like, just like a really nice texture, almost like a seaweed texture.
Okay. Yeah, I did see recipes for whole kale and for baby kale, so I tried this first. All right, so there you have it. We have our first attempt at making kale chips. I think we can make some improvements, but the process worked, and I think we're getting a good feel for how the appliance is going to work as well. All right, so come back and visit us next week. We're going to start in on the jerky, and we're super excited about that.